This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to... I don't like this. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Here we go. I'm just going to have to go like this. I know, it's making me nervous.
Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affair. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in this week. I did take last week off, but it's because we did a really exciting, one of my most vulnerable episodes of The Public Affair, actually with Seen and Love Studios on Seen and Love Studios YouTube channel, so make sure you guys go check that out if you have not, and thank you guys again so much for being patient while we go ahead and display that, and I want to thank you guys all for the love and feedback on that show, so thank you. Now, of course, we're back on The Public Affair, where, you know, we don't leave no stones unturned, okay, and we like to take it there, and I'm super excited to be back on the couch. Now, before we continue, I want to thank Josh and Rogue Media Network for producing this episode of The Public Affair. Thank you guys again so much, and I encourage you all to like, share, and subscribe. And before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by David Santabanez with Alinea Real Estate. My boy David is still the #1 sales agent in his office. That's why he's going to help you buy a home or sell your property. Make sure you follow him on Facebook at David with Alinea, or just call the number on the screen, darling, for all your real estate needs, because my boy David will make sure that you are involved in every step of the process, step by step, and he's truly the GOAT at what he does. My boy, thank you so much for all the support that you give me in the show, bro. I truly appreciate you. Of course, to Anika Armstrong with Armstrong's Bayou Cafe, which I had for dinner last night because she was at she had her food truck out at the Soko Soccer Complex, and it was absolutely delicious. That blackened chicken pasta just sent me. She's serving up the most authentic Creole cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pasta, seafood, and more. My favorite, of course, is all her pastas. I know a lot of people like the potatoes, the seafood, all that. Make sure you guys go check her out, Union Hall, Union Grove, and book the food truck as well. Follow on Facebook at Armstrong's Bayou Cafe. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to my boy Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services. Listen, he's a mobile RV tech who can fix all RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and so much more, even them food trucks. All right, he deals with the warranty company, so you don't have to. All you have to do is pay him his small service fee, and him and his team are going to make sure that you guys are back out on the road, and that rig is doing what it's supposed to do. Follow on Facebook, call the number on the screen. My boy Manny Guerrero does great work. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, I had this last week too for lunch. It sent me Luca's Pizzeria with Jesse and Tanya Sotomayor. Be on the lookout for their delicious home-style Italian pastas like fettuccine, chicken fettuccine Alfredo. They got chicken parmesan, you guys. Their New York style pizza, their burgers, their Philly cheesesteaks are mouth-watering and will make you slide in DMs after you eat them. They're so delicious. Listen, check them out at 3125 Bellmead Drive. Luca's Pizzeria, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, to my boy Jeff Davis, the Texas car plug at University Mazda Kia. Listen, graduation's coming up, and I know that you want to get your kid, a college kid, you know, their brand new car, their pre-owned vehicle, whatever. Listen, my boy Jeff Davis at University Mazda Kia is going to get you the best deal in town. He works diligently, he works hard, he's super patient and easy to talk to and work with. Don't worry about what your credit looks like neither, because my boy is going to make sure that he does everything that he can to make sure that you're rolling off the lot, grinning from ear to ear. My boy Jeff, thank you so much for all you do for me on the show. Make sure you guys text him and or call him on the screen. Thank you so much for all you do for me on the show. All right, guys. So like I said, I'm super excited to have this next guest on this show, because me and this guest actually go back, right? We go back to my whorish radio days, right? When I was at the club, we were always at the club, and then I thought I was always dancing the best at the club until his bitch ass came in, right? With him and his freaking crew, You Got Served crew, Bachata edition, all right, coming into the club. But now he's doing his thing as a world-renowned aspiring actor, or excuse me, aspiring nothing. He just signed to an agency, so congratulations to you. Thank you. He made time on his mother's birthday, shout out to mom, and in the midst of his busy schedule to pencil in coming on The Public Affair. I'm so excited to welcome my old friend, Mr. Ricardo Ramirez on The Public Affair.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. About yourself?
It's
How
so
you been?
good to see you. No, I haven't seen you in so many years.
Oh, man.
And so when you reached out, I was like, of course we got to have Ricardo on the show. This would be so exciting.
Long overdue for
now,
sure,
how
man.
come you don't have a whorish actor name? Like, you know, something salacious? Like, you don't have, like, a star name. You're supposed to get a star name.
Oh, I just go by Ricky, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure something out for you by the end of the episode. We'll ask the gays. How about that? Yeah, we'll ask the gays to come up with something salacious for you.
I've taken some workshops, actually, and my stripper name is it's like male entertainment
Yes.
Like Magic Mike,
Okay.
and they gave me this stripper named Rick Nasty.
Rick Nasty. Okay, we can go
It's
with Rick
fun.
Nasty.
It's funny.
It's
but,
giving OnlyFans, but we can roll with that. Okay.
Nah, man, I tell people not chill. You know.
Yes.
So.
Okay, he's trying to keep it professional. You know what? And one thing I can always say about you,
Yeah.
you always had that smile on your face, and every time you came to the club and you guys were all dancing with your choreographed dance moves, which is not what you're supposed to be doing at Junction 84.
Yeah.
You were always very kind,
Yeah.
very level-headed. What do you think contributed to that?
Probably not just trauma responses, but being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
You know, you have homegirls that that are attractive. You gotta
True.
you gotta protect them.
Yeah.
Even homeboys that just get drunk, you gotta.
Okay.
Hey man, chill, cut it off.
Trying to fight.
And then me always being the DD, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm always the responsible one. All my
Okay.
life is just like, just being raised right, I guess.
I think that's so great. Can we talk
Yeah.
about Junction 84? Can we just reminisce, please? Because I really have.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. I
Those were
pressed
the
delete
days.
on those days, by the way. I want you to
Me
know
too.
that. Yes. When that club shut down or whatever happened, I was like, that's it for me. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were always with a group of like bachata dancers,
Yeah.
right? Were you guys like a troupe in town, or what was going on there?
Both.
Yeah.
At the time, Baylor had its own Latin dancing crew.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And so when I had just graduated from OSU,
Yes.
I came down and they were opening to the public, and I was like an up and coming, I guess, artist / dancer
Okay.
with them.
Sure.
And I started assisting with helping them teach, getting better, or
Right.
just it was a big group of us always trying to better ourselves.
Yeah.
And then of course, they were college students. I just started working, so we didn't want to go out of town traveling all the time.
Right.
We try to bring it here and try to build the community here.
Okay.
So that was the thing. That was our thing. We're going out every Friday, every Saturday.
Bro,
At the time.
no shade. But I used to be drunk dancing at that club.
I remember.
Now I will tell you this. I think a man twerking now is the most unattractive, unappealing thing I've ever seen. But that was me back in 2019, 2018, 2020, whatever. Okay. And, then you would come in and then they would play bachata, I feel like, on purpose. And you guys always had like the suave moves and stuff like that. And then we were all smelling like some earring backs. But what are some things that you miss about the nightlife? And do you go out now?
The one thing I miss about the nightlife is of course not just the camaraderie, but just like how me and you know each other. Everybody's like, hey, I know that guy. Let's
Sure.
get a drink. Can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a shot?
Right.
Can you dance with my girlfriend? Can you dance with my wife? Can you dance with my cousin?
Oh, they were asking you to dance with
Some
them.
people would.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just a
okay.
respect thing in the Latin dance community. Hey, they like you dancing. Can you dance with them? Can I record you?
Oh,
Or
okay.
do you teach privates? Can you teach me and my girl?
Sure.
Yeah.
Were you
so-
teaching privates?
Here and there, around Waco, here and there. I actually was on. I think the last big thing I did here was Dancing with the Stars in Waco.
Oh, really?
And I won it twice in 2 years.
Good for you. I don't get invited to things like that in the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know if they still do it. I haven't kept up with them.
I don't get invited to Dancing with the Stars or any of the improvs.
But to answer your
for
question
you.
on the next question,
Yes.
do I still go out
Sure.
here and there? Yeah, I still do. When
Do
I
you?
when I
Okay.
have my chance, it takes some of my boys who still go dancing begging me to come out.
Really?
Even some of my homegirls, they're like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in a while." Da, da, da. I'm like,
Sure.
man, I'm just.
Are you a chick magnet? Is that why? Because they see you dancing all
I
sensual?
just bring the vibe, man.
Do
We're
you?
always dancing and drinking here and there. So
Yeah, I guess I respect that about you bringing that vibe, right? Because you
It
never
just- it
had to
brings
be.
people in.
Yeah, you never had to be loud and obnoxious. You were always just doing your thing, and everything just kind of spoke for itself. But I find it quite complexing that guys were actually asking you to dance with their women, because I know a lot of people can be very, very
yeah.
standoffish.
It's,
you know.
how can I say? It's like the club scene, but once you experience actual dance classes, even two-step, country, even jazz and just swing, even when you start discovering that side of a professional dance world,
Right.
most of the time, it is professional and it's okay to dance with someone else.
Somebody else, okay.
You
So-
can compete with someone else and
Right.
you make money. You can go and win championships or just do a local championship thing. Like, oh,
Right.
me and this person won it. So
Okay.
it's just a professional thing, and it's a matter of having that level, like you said, having that level head of just not capitalizing on anything like
How
that.
many of those wives actually slid in your DMs afterwards?
None.
Yeah, he's lying. He's lying. Okay, how many of the husbands actually slid in your DMs afterwards and said, "I like the way you were dancing with my wife. Can you dance with me like that too?"
Nah, man, nothing like that.
Are you sure? Okay. Talk to me about your life growing up. When did you get into dancing and stuff like that too?
Man, shout out to Oscar Perales. That's like a pivotal moment of my career, or not career, just dancing life
Sure.
in general. 2012, I think that was the year I met. No, 2011. when I went to University High School,
Okay.
one of the math teachers, I guess, was a former instructor at Baylor, and he brought it in high school.
Yeah.
Fell in love with it since. Honestly, was going through it with an ex at the time. But discovering dancing kind of changed my life because it did bring out that confidence.
Okay.
The stuff you know now.
Yeah.
It just being present, being in the now.
Sure,
Just,
sure.
You know, I be ready for when people want to take a picture of you or just want to talk to you, just like right now. So
Yeah.
it brings out the real you in dancing. So
You slid in my DMs. When I found out you were doing the whole acting gig and got signed to an agency,
Yeah.
and then you slid in my DMs to come on the Public Affair, I felt like I made it. I was like, he still remembers me. That's so cute. Yeah, you know.
I remember, well, you were always offering me a drink. You were always saying, "Hey, man, you're pretty good." But I do remember that time when you were 2012, Draw My Blood in high school, and you were dancing with all the other nurses or whoever. And y'all were roasting each other, but that was funny. I just remember that, and then we took a picture. I gotta find that picture.
You have to
yeah.
find that picture so we can post it, please. That was okay. Yeah, so that was the worst job ever. But I was your age in 20. Yeah, because you have to remember, like, so I started working at Carter Blood Care in 2010. So essentially, I was the same age as the high schoolers that we were going. So we all related to each other, but everybody that worked with me was so old. They were older. You know what I mean? So I fit in with everybody, but I pressed delete on those days too. I really hated those days. I really did.
There's a lot.
The mission is absolutely amazing what they do. The job was the worst job I ever had in my entire life. But that's a different story. But I didn't know we would go back that far. I really did not know that.
Honestly,
I
yeah,
forgot
when I think
about
that was years. I was like, well,
yeah.
10 years ago.
I really, the only thing I remember about working at Carter Blood Care is stealing their Nutter Butters, and that's about it.
A lot of us did it just to skip school, man.
Yeah,
Just
sure. I remember being, the hottest thing since sliced bread at all the blood drives because of my charismatic, personality, which did get me in a lot of trouble behind the scenes. I was constantly getting, coaching counselings and wrote up, and you're not supposed to say this because we're medical professionals and they were all idiots. But anyway, how do you, I guess separate the competitive nature with just kind of being, just around and doing it? Because it seems like when you go, right? Like we all go and we all think we're doing such a good job, and then you come and you steal the show, right? And so I wonder how do you take your head out of being competitive when you're just trying to go out and have a good time?
Being humble yourself, and actually it does relate to who you surround yourself with in your everyday life, what you read, what you listen to.
Yeah.
But also just being, I feel like myself, we're all human at the end of the day.
Right.
When you look at yourself in the mirror, I'm not saying you're a nobody, but you are you. No one else can be you.
Okay.
But essentially overall, it's just being humble yourself.
Right.
Nothing. I'm not trying to bring no sassiness. I'm not trying to bring I'm better than anybody.
Sure.
I'm just having fun with my group of people or whoever I meet that night, whoever wants to come and hang out with us or hang out with us the next time we come out. Hey, we're here to have a good time. Have a fun time.
I got you, bro.
So, yeah.
Now, the dancing is super close. Anybody that knows anything about dancing bachata or anything like that, it's very close. It can be perceived as sexual because everything, the body contact is very, very close. How do you keep it pro, though? Because I'm sure you as a man, you're like, ooh, this woman is so hot and I'm so happy I get to put my hands all over her, right? And then gyrate our bodies together. But how do you just kind of be like, oh, wait, no, we're doing this for entertainment. You know what I mean?
There's actually two positions you can be in. That close position where you're head-to-head, body-to-body, but there's also one room.
That's my favorite. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But there's like a saying whenever you do take classes, and a lot of my dance friends, they can probably agree, there's room for Jesus called open position, either hand-to-hand or you use that arm, your right arm, to lead her away from you and have that little airspace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or for my follows, if you're like chest-to-chest, and a guy, creepy guy, or even a girl, you could just use your forearm to have that little length behind everybody.
So there's rules.
Yeah, there's hidden rules, but there is like known rules, like, hey, you don't do that unless there's consent and stuff like that, which I'm not condoning none of that. But
Right.
we're at the end of the day, you want to be respectful.
Okay. Listen, you just want to be a respected entertainer, right? So you don't want nobody looking at you thinking, oh, he gets all the girls, he gets all the action, whatever the case is, which I'm sure your dancing has led to some bedroom endeavors. Look, come on, Ricky, stop this. Okay, well, listen, we go back. We could talk to each other. It's okay. I always wondered that. No, because, we think that we're doing our big ones out there, and then you come along and you're doing...
Yeah. No, there's been a few that slid in my DMs and stuff.
There we go.
But
got him.
It's also like, at the time I was dating at the time, so it's kind of like I'm being respectful.
Sure.
And as a guy, yeah, is it attractive? Is it appealing? Yes, but again, like, it's just how you were raised and who you surround yourself with. I'm not trying to be known for that.
Absolutely not.
I'm not even trying to disrespect the person I'm seeing
Right.
or talking to at the time.
Right.
I don't want to be doing all that.
Was it always hard to have a conversation with your girlfriend or girlfriends that you were dating at the time? No, I don't know, but like
Yes
you
and
know,
no.
people that you were dating at the time, and you know, like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I do dance when I go out. People want to dance with me, this and that. Do you have a hard time getting them not to be jealous?
Yes and no. Some
Okay.
were real accepting towards it. Others that were dancers, and we never dated, but at the time we were talking, they would get jealous, and I'm like, hey, this is how we met.
Right.
Am I getting mad that you're dancing all over this guy who's a celebrity dancer and you're just acting all out? Like, no, like, come on, man. You know, so it's a respect thing to the where of like, hey, I'm doing me, you doing you, but you gotta respect. This is what brought me here even before we met.
Right.
So it's just like you can't really control me, but I'm being respectful at the end of the day too.
Okay.
So
As long as you're not over there like with your mouth all over her and stuff like that. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like then it should be.
Yeah.
Some people just have a hard time, you know, differentiating the two, if you will. Now,
You do.
Have you taken a step back from the dancing to to focus more on acting?
a lot, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, going back to what you said from about just how I've been doing, I think it was 2021. I finally just started acting. Just really started.
Okay.
Left my apartment, moved in with a homie, but I started leaving dance and started funding everything. Even like just, of course, just like how Alazan and I guess what halftime was at the time. You pay what $10-15 to get in.
Who?
Same here.
Who is? I don't pay to walk into clubs.
They actually knew us. They would let us in at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was getting let in too because I worked at the radio station.
Yeah.
But who's not? I'm not paying to get into no clubs. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Especially
Yeah.
not here.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But at
Walk
the
right out.
time,
Yeah.
throughout the years, actually 2023 was when 2024 was when I started really, really doing my acting thing, going to college
gotcha.
for it, or sorry, taking the
Course.
classes, these
Of
courses,
course,
yeah.
yes.
So, and ever since then, even before that, I was always just taking acting classes here and there, funding for it,
Okay.
doing online Zoom meetings for them whenever there was local stuff going on.
Right.
And then my actual first big national commercial was with Kubota in 2022.
Oh.
Yeah. So
How'd you feel when you got that?
man, I thought I made it at the time.
What is Kubota? What is that?
It's a RTV, and I think they're in construction.
Okay.
They also in farming.
Yeah.
But think of the RTVs, the farming equipment, and I'm pretty sure the mowing for grass and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what they were. But they had me on the RTVs driving. It was fun. My first commercial.
Do you roll your eyes at the people that get excited because they got one news interview and they're on TV for 10 minutes? No, I'm just asking.
No,
I
no.
do.
Because it brings out the confidence. You know, they feel like they made it. You know, so it just
I was
you gotta
on the
applaud
news.
people.
I got interviewed and I carried that by myself. I did. I'm not going to lie. I'm tired of it. No, yes.
Yeah.
I'm being very outspoken this year.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, people not putting respect on my name. But yeah, I did. I carried
Same.
that shit. Okay.
No, I had that sense of feeling where like
Yeah.
there's been some people that tried to like talk crap about me, and
Sure,
I'm just,
sure.
I be scrolling through Facebook now. I used to be the one. I'm pretty sure I used to be nosy, but like scrolling through all the memes and
Yes.
resharing them. I remember that you would do the same thing, but
Absolutely.
now I'm just like, man, all right, let me get back to work.
Yeah.
I
No,
just-
we have to keep it classé, dog.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. As you get older, you just gotta be
Yeah,
humble.
yeah. I already made that post. They're good. They know how to reach me. Everybody got my number. But anyway. Well, listen, Ricky, I want to get more into your
Yeah,
acting
let's do
career.
it.
I'm so proud with everything that you're accomplishing and everything you're about to accomplish. And, we're going to take a quick break, okay? And when
right.
we get back, guys, we're going to have more with our very special guest. What they call you, Rick what? Rick Nasty?
Rick
We're gonna
Nasty.
have more with my very special guest, Rick Nasty, and his acting career. And we're going to see if he's going to land that Power Rangers role movie or not. So we'll be right back on The Public Affair. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this exciting episode of The Public Affair. My very special guest, his name is not Rick Nasty. It's Ricardo Ramirez, aspiring actor, dancer here on The Public Affair. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just some more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. I know you laugh when I do this part. I'm sorry. This episode is brought to us by Banda's Hauling Service. With Julian and Ana Bandas, right? They rent dump trailers. You fill it up, they haul it away. They also do junk removals and tree bush removals, and they haul cars in and out of town. They're also offering roll-off dumpster services as well, perfect for those big get-togethers or spring spring is coming up, you're going to do some spring cleaning and you just need a big giant dumpster to throw all that trash away in, my boy Banda's Hauling Service will come and take care of that for you. We'll drop the dumpster off and we'll pick it up. He's truly that number you guys need to have in your phone to pull you out of a sticky situation. Pun intended. Banda's Hauling Service, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Chefito's Kitchen, where Al Gutierrez and Adriana Gutierrez serving the best in Latin cuisine. I'm talking about some, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm Puerto Rican, so don't mind me if my mouth waters. I'm talking about arroz con gandules. I'm talking about totones. I'm talking about plátano maduro. I'm talking about Cuban sandwiches and so much more. Follow their social media for daily specials as well. You can check them out at Union Grove, and you can also ask them to cater your event and for information on their food truck. Chefito's Kitchen has got a little bit of Latin flavors inspired by Puerto Rico, by Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, and much more. Chefito's Kitchen, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Matt Mass with Spot On. Listen, this business is for all my friends using things like Square, and more. He's a point-of-sale system for local entrepreneurs, business, and especially restaurants. He offers competitive processing fees against other services like Square, like Toast, and much more. He offers user-friendly interface and exceptional customer service, because you guys know when you're trying to get payments, things go wrong. Spot On has some of the best customer service out there. Call Matt with the number on the screen or reach out to him on the email on the screen. Check out spoton.com. Matt, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair, and of course the Soko Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez, offering team, small group, and individual skills training with elite skills training to make your kids superb star athletes and some of the best child care services in town. The kids are about to be out of school for the summer break. When kids are not in school, Soko Soccer Academy is definitely the place that you want to keep your kids at so they can remain social and active. I also want to give a huge shout out to the Soko Soccer teams coached by Coach Morrow, Coach Megan, Coach Jeff. You guys truly do phenomenal work with these children, and they are absolutely being led by some of the best adult inspiration and coaches in town. The Public Affair is here to support you guys through and through. Soko Soccer Academy, thank you so much for all the support that you give me. I truly appreciate it. All right, guys, we're back with my very special guest, Ricardo Ramirez is here. What's so funny?
No, I like how you do that, man. That's very professional. Like, I actually got taught how to do that.
Thank you. Can you let them know that's all live, too?
It's all live.
All live. My own cousin, Joe, said, I don't believe you do that live.
No,
off the top of your head.
The news anchors do that. Teleprompting. It's called teleprompting, right?
Yeah, but I don't have a teleprompter.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. You're going through the paragraph real quick. But
yeah.
I like that.
I will tell you, I've never had to read off a teleprompter, so I don't know how I would do off of that. But I think, with the advertisements, everything is just repetitive. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I know what's next. You know what I mean?
Repetition counts, man.
Yes, thank you. And I did do some drunk radio commercials. Mm-hmm. My first, Dunkin' Donuts commercial was absolutely under the influence of alcohol, but they aired it for 6 months, so who cares, right? And nobody knew. You know why? Because that's called professional. Now, I just, before we get into the acting and stuff, we mentioned a lot about DMs and stuff like that. Now, first of all, when you announced that you became a signed actor, how were them DMs afterwards, right afterwards? Ricky.
I can tell you a lot of people were congratulating me, but a lot of people were like, yo, I've always wanted to be this, I've always believed in you. And some of them, I'm like,
but you was talking shit though, right? Yeah. But you was talking shit though, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, keep it a buck, yeah. But you was talking about that shit.
But you remember that stuff when people used to make fun of you too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And now, and it's also being that delusional. Now that I'm starting to make it work, now you guys are starting to.
Yeah. That happened
cool.
with the Public Affair. No, it's not cool.
I just
that happened with the Public
Affair.
Let it be. There was people like, I'm not sharing when you announce that podcast because it's going to suck, and now they're begging to be on the show. One of them was Ricky. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't Ricky. No, okay, but everybody was probably your best friend afterwards. How many girls wanted to be your girlfriend after that?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Did you take advantage?
No.
Ricky, I'm not going to lie. I used my radio status to get what I wanted sometimes. I absolutely did. I was like, how bad do you want those country music tickets?
Right.
You know what I mean? How bad do you want to go to the Grammys, bitch? Yeah, okay, but yeah, so surely you had a lot of people that I'm sure there was a lot of genuine congratulations going out to you, which is great. But then, you do have those people that didn't believe with you in the beginning, and then, they try to pull the wool over your eyes. So how did you handle something like that? The fake love can kind of get to you, you know what I mean?
It can, because it is overwhelming when you're trying to dive into that entertainment industry.
Right.
When I do post about it. But at the end of the day, you just got to learn how to let things go from the past. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's been, we made amends now. Some of us are Facebook friends, Instagram friends, but back in the day, I'm like, man, I don't know why you didn't like me. Or back in the day, I don't know why I didn't like you. But at the end of the day, as you get older, it's all about having peace in your life.
We're in our 30s now, y'all. Like, I don't care about what you did to me at Midway, bitch. Like, that was in 2009. You know what I mean? Like, I hate when people say, "Oh, I fought her." Yeah, I fought her in high school. I fought him in high school.
Be surprised,
okay,
man.
that's cute. I effed her in high school. Like, so, like, good for you. You want a badge of honor, bitch? Like, I hate that. That's one of my pet peeves. Okay, we're talking about the acting beginning, right?
Yeah.
And you were a renowned dancer. You did so phenomenal at it. You had that all down. Why the switch? Why did you decide that you wanted to kind of put that to the side to pursue acting?
Dude, that's always been my man. I'm glad you asked that because I tell people now I'm more confident in saying I've always wanted to be this when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always, you can ask my mom. I'm always watching Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Just all these fight movies. Just I'm always been a big, not just a music person with R&B, but also watching all these movies.
Right.
And even playing the games, I'm just like, man, I would love to be a voice actor at one time.
I always said I wanted to do that too. Yeah.
And it's not hard to get into, but it's not easy.
Sure.
So of course build your portfolio and stuff like that, right? But I've always wanted to be since I was a kid. Always. I think one of my idols was Hugh Jackman, Wolverine.
Okay.
I'm just like, man, I would like to do that one day.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like Keanu Reeves with The Matrix.
Okay.
Man, those were like, I guess not heartwarming, but like as a kid, those stuck with me. Seeing them and growing up, I'm like, man, you guys still look the same to me as a kid.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I'm still fanboying over that.
Right. So you would say those movies pretty much
inspired me,
okay,
to be honest. And then watching even my uncles, shout out to my uncles, watching anime. I'm like, man, I would love, if only that was real life. I could turn to Super Saiyan.
Okay. Well, we could be voice actors on Dragon Ball Z. I'll take a role on that too.
Right.
They just got to make somebody who's fruity. So as far as the acting classes go, and people that want to become actors and everything, people think they got it down packed, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's more than meets the eye to that?
There is definitely, because there's a lot of training that I thought I did correctly just off of YouTube. Come on, everybody's YouTube a lot of things here and there that they tell you no, like don't do this at all, or do this very little, but be explosive about it. Same thing how with the cameras, how we're facing each other. It's all about the angles and what they want to look in your face.
You don't want to break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's called. I know. Yeah, don't play with me.
You don't want to be too forward this way, but you want to still be facing forward, turn a little bit. So there's a lot that they teach you, and it's kind of like bad habits that people do that you think you're going into.
Right.
When they actually come out and make you a better person.
Oh, I see.
Not a better person, a better actor.
A better actor, yeah, for sure.
So,
do you what was it like booking your first gig? You mentioned that your first major gig, I guess, was that commercial, right? And so, how long did it take for something like that to present itself?
Honestly, I think a year. When I was diving into it, doing it myself, of course, just how can I say, just looking up local castings or just looking up casting websites. Right. There was another actor, shout out to my uncle, he's in a beer competition all the time. I met another fellow actor who was on some show. I don't know if it was Yellowstone or something. Okay. But anyways, he told me the website that he was doing, and now he signed to his agency, and that's when I did mine.
Oh, okay,
They actually did the same thing and were just open it to the public. Yeah. That's when I got my first acting gig, and then I met other actors along the way, still did it myself. Finally took it to the acting classes, like started funding myself. Right. And then I actually got recommended to an agency a guy that I met one night dancing.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Everybody wants me to try out for reality TV. Do you have Zeus?
No, I don't.
Okay, Zeus plays a lot of that trash TV, like Baddies, and then now they have, remember Bad Girls Club? Yeah. They have this, like, it's like Bad Boys Club, but it's called Bad Boys. And they were like, you should be on Bad Boys because you're so shady the way you talk. And I don't think I'm shady the way I talk. I think I just say real things and it comes off as shady. Authentic. But I was like, you guys just want me to go on that show and get beat up all the time. Yeah. If I go on Bad Boys, I'm going to get beat up all the time. What do you think is the difference between people that make it in reality TV versus an actual actor? That makes it, And do you roll your eyes at the reality TV stars? Like if I was on Bad Boys?
Don't, because sometimes I'm like, man, there has been some valid crash outs when you look at some of them crashing out. But some of them, I think they've actually admitted some of them they want you to act a certain way on live TV. Absolutely. And then compared to actual TV or actual filming and film, they tell you to either be yourself or be a certain way. Right. They said it all. They'll say it all in the description how they want you to be. Sure. And you yourself have to perceive it and bring that character to life.
I got you. Do you
So-
find that hard sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes when I read some of these auditions, I'm like, man, I get overwhelmed because
you?
it's audition after audition daily or
Okay.
every other day, and I'm like, man, after actual working, I got to come home and do this.
And you gotta do this,
So
yeah.
I mean, shout out to some of my friends who helped me with those castings. So auditions, sorry.
Yeah. Was there a gig that you hated? Was there one that you were like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to be over? Where's my $200?
No, just starting off, I was just excited to be there. Not yet. I haven't experienced that yet, but I have heard of people going through that.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to be here. Can I go back? You know, I'm ready to go back home, back to my hotel.
Really,
you know?
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard some people
You
say
can't
that.
be like that though.
Yeah.
Right? You have to, you're there to work. You got to just roll with the punches.
You got
Don't
to.
you agree?
And
Yeah.
then you'll be there for hours before break.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, oh.
The one I got sick one time filming with Yellowstone, just
Okay.
being a background actor. I'm like, man, it was cool being next to Kevin Costner.
Yeah, yeah. I've
But-
never seen Yellowstone. My best friend loves that show.
Okay,
I've never seen
okay.
Yellowstone.
It was
yeah.
cool being on
Yeah.
that, but there's some productions that are. Oh, let me backtrack.
Yeah.
But being next to Kevin Costner, that one we were there like 8 to 10 hours, and it was cold,
With no break?
no break.
No, what do you
For a
got to do
while.
if you got to pee? Yeah.
Huh?
What if
Oh,
you
you tell them like, hey, can we go use? And they'll say, all right, break. You
Oh,
know, because
okay,
sometimes
okay.
they're in it like, hey, we gotta redo this shoot, redo the
Oh
shoot,
my
redo
God.
the shoot.
And I bet you guys have to redo shoots like 100 times.
A lot of times.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet that's,
Yeah.
that would get so annoying.
It's funny because
Yeah.
after the 100th time, they'll just put six seconds in it.
Hey, is there a gig you won't do? It's like, you know, so I always think like when I look at actors, right, and this is going to be a little bit risque, but I always look at like, you know, like sex scenes, right, and like those nude scenes and stuff like that, and that has got to take some type of different commitment to pull
Confidence,
through with.
yeah.
And so I wonder, is there a scene for you that is just completely off limits, or are you just kind of open to even things like that?
I had told them I'm not. It just depends on the description. Like
Okay.
I don't mind taking off my shirt here and there, but I don't. Sex scenes, I'm kind of not really open to that.
Sure.
You know, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Just depends on what the scene would be.
Okay, okay.
It really does depend because there's been some absurd scenes in movies. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
You know?
like when I watched Mia Culpa and they were doing
Yeah.
it in the paint, I was like, "Whoa, you had to pay me extra for that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it just depends, man. I wouldn't be opposed to it, to be honest.
Okay, okay. But you know, when you say that, you know, there's even some restrictions for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that the check at the end of the day has a lot to say for that, or do you think your integrity is more important than that?
My integrity is more important.
Really?
I would, Just
Okay.
me as a man, I wouldn't want to do that, to be honest. Like I
Right.
said, I wouldn't mind taking my shirt off, but those
I
sexual
would.
scenes, I wouldn't.
I don't like people seeing my body. Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Same.
I'm
and it's reserved for
insecure.
someone I'm like intimate with. Or
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to. I don't want to do all that.
I feel because you know they say in showbiz that sex sells, right? And
Yeah.
so that if at one point you know you make it big time, which hopefully you do,
Yeah.
and then they're like, hey, well, this is
Right.
what we're expecting for you because we're going to cast you in this movie or whatever the case. You know, do you think that you become difficult to work with when you turn down roles like that? Maybe
No.
not just sex scenes
No,
too.
they-
Like, yeah.
They'll ask you in certain. And I've been offered that already.
Okay.
Like, hey, we want to do this commercial shirt off or like something, and I'm like, nah, you can decline it, or
Okay.
you can tell your agent or the actual director how you feel about it.
Sure.
And they should ask you, and they're supposed to ask you.
Okay, I agree. Yeah.
And you know, no turn on, they'll be like, okay, we'll try to change it, or we'll find somebody different.
Right,
Sorry,
right.
you don't fit the role.
I you know what? And I love like Nick Jonas, right, the singer.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's done scenes too with like other men, like kind of like gay scenes. I wonder, like as a man. This is gonna get controversial, right? Like that's probably something, and that's okay. You would probably turn something down like that too, right? If
can.
you're not gay, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because I mean, I don't know if I want to do a scene with a girl. Well, how much are we talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how much? I want to make sure that my grandkids can't work. How much are we
Yeah.
talking about? You know?
Right,
No,
right,
because
right,
it's
right.
got to be hard to turn down roles like that, especially when they're like, I'm sure you get pressured in your business. You know what I mean? I'm sure you get pressured to, no, you have to do this, and this is how you're going to get this accolade, and this is how you're going to get this role. You know what I mean? I mean, have you faced any of those things?
Not yet, but I
Okay.
have, like I said, I have been asked, and like I said, and they'll be honest with you. Okay, well, we want to do this scene. We'll just go with someone else.
Okay, okay.
So you have the right to decline it.
I like
you
that.
have the right to decline
Sure,
it,
sure.
and they're supposed to respect you too. But also, it's just a matter of if you want to do it yourself
I got
as
you.
an actor, or like you said, integrity.
I like that you put your integrity up front.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I just don't want to be known for that.
I
to
think
be
you. I
honest.
think you have to do that though.
You
I
have
think
to.
no matter what,
You
I
have
think that
to.
your integrity should be at the forefront of everything, and I actually applaud you for that. I really do, because I don't think that you should be a sellout for your career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I won't.
Maybe a little bit, maybe
I've
not.
been fired from events because I'm not going to be a sellout.
Yeah. I hear you.
Deal with
I hear
it.
you.
So we talk about the background extras, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so would you consider yourself still a background extra? Are you like a solidified actor? Or?
I'm actually a working actor. There's like
Okay.
a transition of like when I first started getting my, and shout out to my boy Davin. Honestly,
Yeah.
he actually sat me down and was like, "Yo," he was actually on Drake and Josh. Shout out to him.
Oh, okay.
But one day we were talking. We were out with my boy Jay and Vincent and some other people, and he just said, "Yo, you're a working actor now. You got a few gigs under your belt. You're taking acting classes. You've gotten actual money from the industry. You can say you're an actual working actor.
Absolutely.
And you haven't let up." And I took me a minute to thought about it because, again, it's only big gigs here and there.
Right.
But now they're starting to gradually come as I'm getting offered some of these roles. Yeah, am I losing to other people? Yes, because it is a cutthroat industry.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you don't fit the description, they're going to
Yeah.
or they'll save you for the next casting.
Right.
They'll keep you in mind if they like you. Like I've been told that too, and still
Yeah.
haven't heard from them in like a year.
Okay.
But
I think
anyways,
that's the nice way of them.
yeah. But the nicest term I can use is I am a working actor.
Okay, got you for
So
sure.
yeah, I still got my regular day job, but that is the dream goal to honestly be that every day, flying out to whatever. or
Yes.
Working from home, doing voice acting all the time, or just submitting all the time, and then they fly me out. That's the goal, to be a working actor.
Does it make your eyes roll too? Because I've seen people that they're like extra. There's nothing wrong with being no extra, right? But then this is the example I'm going to use. It's like when you're a teacher's aide, but you call yourself a teacher. And it's like when you're a phlebotomist, but you call yourself a nurse,
Yeah.
right? It's like. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Things like that. So do you roll your eyes at the people that are like, I'm an actor and this and that? Bro, you were in that one shooting scene for 5 seconds. Like, you didn't get no lines.
Yeah.
No nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like when people, I guess, like put themselves higher than what they are. Is that like an annoyance to you?
To a point, because after a
Yeah.
while, you're like, okay, what have you done after that?
Right.
What have you done to apply yourself? Because
Yeah.
I was like that at one time. I had to get it out of my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I just got featured on Yellowstone. I
Sure,
just did
sure.
Walker. I just did this, did that. And I'm just like, wait, I'm not really signed to an agency.
Okay.
You know, it's just a matter of coming to Jesus within yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, man, I got to do better.
But I think that there's nothing wrong with that too,
Yeah.
though. Like I don't.
There's
want
not.
You,
There's
I don't want you to tell me that
Because
you're
it brings that confidence.
Exactly.
It does.
And I
It
don't want
does.
you to
So
tell
I
me
don't
that
apply it.
You're
I mean,
a
I don't
full-fledged
disagree.
actor, and you were on, one Netflix movie for 5 seconds with no lines. Like, I missed you. I blinked and you were gone. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh wait, I gotta rewind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Like,
Yellowstone. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You go ahead. It's your show.
Yellowstone. Yellowstone. I was only there for like a split second.
Okay.
Like those 8 hours. I'm like, bro, 1 second. But it was cool because of the experience, because I met other actors that got me into where I'm at today.
But you're not going around.
Networking.
Yeah, okay. I think that's what I'm saying too. You know what I mean? So it's about knowing your place and knowing your position and stuff like that.
And being humble.
That's it. God, how long do you think it'll take for you to get that one big groundbreaking role for you?
Man, me studying, and I was even, like I told you, all through a kid, even in high school, I was studying, just watching other auditions, watching how other people got their roles. Of course, there's that big move of going to Hollywood and New York and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, what was the question again? I'm sorry, I just, sometimes I be going blank. Sometimes
How long do you think it's going to take to get your groundbreaking
how long?
role?
Yeah, right. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sometimes
That's
I be
happened
going
before.
blank.
That's
Yeah, it's
happened.
happened. It's happened.
Yeah, that's a true recording moment.
I'm like,
okay, yeah.
all right.
I have you all over the place. I'm sorry. Okay, good.
There's actually no specific time.
Okay.
Because I know some people that I've met in the industry, they're not really well known. They just do it and just stay low.
Okay.
Not stay low, they just stay humble within themselves of not really boasting about it.
Yeah,
and they're a
sure.
full-fledged actor.
I got you.
I met some people that I signed with the agency, and all they do is work from home doing voice acting.
Okay.
You don't really know them.
Right.
You know the characters, but I'm just like, whoa, like I didn't know that. I always thought you get the famous stuff about it too as well.
for sure.
But there's so many different angles, and I'm just starting. I don't know everything about it yet, but there's so many different positions you can be in, which is exciting as well. But I can't really pinpoint a definite
I guess it's
answer.
hard to say, and I'm sure it gets discouraging too.
It does, because there's sometimes I'm like, man, I know I put all my my all in that audition. I know I feel like I got it. I like the confidence is just like leaking out of me right now, and I'm just like, man, and then turns out you didn't get it.
You just got to get knocked down 9 times and get up 10. You know what I mean?
And that one yes does matter. It does
Absolutely,
matter.
absolutely. You know, Ricardo, I have to say too, with all the years that we've known of each other, I've always known you to be somebody who's been very kind.
Yeah.
You've always had a smile on your face. You always treated everybody with respect, and I really do hope that this business treats you well. I really hope that you're able to, you know, achieve longevity in everything that you want to pursue. And I'm just really grateful that you came on this podcast
Yeah.
to tell us a little bit about your career. And you know, I hope that we see you on that feature film one day. And I'm like,
That is the goal.
He was on the public affair. Y'all know he was on the public
There is some
Yes.
I did audition for. I can't say it.
We can't say. Okay.
But I auditioned for it.
Was it 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
No.
50 Shades of Ricky. Nah, just,
Oh, it's Rick Nasty. That's his OnlyFans, okay? Ricky, what's next for you?
What's next for me is continuing keeping my head down and working hard.
I got you.
Of course, you can never go wrong with asking for help and learning from other people's techniques. But what's next for me is venturing out to hopefully LA,
Yeah.
New York,
Okay.
Florida. And my agency does that, but it's just also getting representation for TV and film,
Right,
not just commercial, but for also model and print.
Okay, okay.
And which they're an agency that does all of them, but it's just like in certain areas, there's other agencies that have more
Right.
power.
Okay.
No offense to everybody else. It's just I'm
Yeah, bro.
just trying.
I got you. I got you. And you want to know what? Just make sure on your resume you put the public affairs. So.
The public.
Okay, make sure you put the public affair on your resume. So they
That can
watch the
actually
show.
go on your resume.
Yeah,
by
so
the
I
way.
can get. I want a voice acting gig too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be on Final Fantasy. All right, Ricky, thank you so much for coming on to the
Thank
show.
you.
I truly appreciate it. Is there anything that we can see you on at the moment, or things like that?
You'd have to look it up. I was on
Yeah.
Kubota. Yellowstone. You didn't really get me.
Yeah.
I was on Walker. Whoever DMs me or something, I could send you the little screen.
Yes.
Yeah, I
The
could do
frame.
that. I was on Coinbase, which is another commercial.
Sure.
But my biggest one, but those are all actually my four. I did
Okay.
some other small background gigs and
Right,
some
right.
modeling stuff, but I could send it all to you guys.
Where can we follow your social media?
Okay, you can follow me at Ricardo_speaks or follow me. That's on Instagram, Ricardo_speaks, or Ricardo Ramirez on my Facebook, and then same thing on my TikTok, Ricardo_speaks.
Yes.
So yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Ricky, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you,
to the
man.
show. I truly
Love you,
appreciate it. It's
dog.
such an honor. No, I'm so grateful that you still remembered the little old me. Okay, and so when you're at, you know,
You always
giving
a
your-
vibe, man.
No, yeah, I am. Okay, hello. And when you see me on that trash TV, just be like, hey, there you go.
I'll probably support it.
Okay, yeah, do it, please. Thank you all again so much for tuning into this episode. I've got more on the way, of course, Ricky. I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your acting
Thank you.
career. And you know, if you guys are at the club and you see that one guy dancing with your woman all sensual, it's Ricky. Don't beat him up. He's not going to try and slide in her DMs, okay? Now, before we go, I definitely want to use this opportunity to encourage you guys to like, share, and subscribe. And I want to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by Jeffrey Monterey with Pollo Box and Audio, home for all your LED needs and auto accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and so much more. Definitely a jack of all trade and your one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof. Jeffrey is the reason why I be bumping Cheetah Girls in South Waco with that bass in my car, and you can't see that it's me too because that tint is nice and dark. Pollo Box and Audio, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Of course, to Elite Barbershop and my boy Sid Rodriguez, located on Hewitt Drive. You can call the number on the screen to book or download the Squire app, and walk-ins are welcome as well. He has Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Clint Fletcher, Isai Reyes, and Sam Ceballos and Kayla Chapa, making you look as snag as I have for more than 200 and almost 40 or more than 40 episodes of The Public Affair. Elite Barbershop, thank you so much for all you do for me and the show. Of course, to Hummingbird Party Backdrops and Decor, my girl Ana Limones. Call for all party decor, including beautiful balloon props, giving it an extra 30 a party or event with a number of wooden backdrops as well. Her balloon decor is absolutely unrivaled, and so is her craftsmanship. Call the number on the screen, email her, however you got to get a hold of her. Hummingbird Party Backdrops and Decor, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. And of course, to Julio Ariaga with JC Painting and Drywall LLC. Contact for all drywall and beautiful new paint for your property, both commercial and residential. His work is honest, true, and can guarantee 100% satisfaction. Truly living by his slogan, just imagine, and we can make it happen. Se habla mucho español. Muchas gracias por todo. Muchas gracias por todo, mi amigo JC Painting and Drywall LLC. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode, and to all of you guys, I truly appreciate all the love and support. I've got more of The Public Affair on the way. Ricardo, Ricky Nasty, Ricardo, Rick_speaks. Thank you for coming on the show. And don't forget to
Thank you.
always keep it between us.
Love you guys.
Yes. That's-
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Is it
I
good?
like
Do you like it?
I love it.
Okay, okay.
I love it.
I'm just trying to keep it.
Like I said, it's not my first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and acting, like I said, it brought that out to me because you're not. A lot of people are not used to that.
Yeah.
Unless they do it like you for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what's coming next.
Right, right.
But it brought that out, especially last year going through them classes. they put you on the spot because sometimes
sure.
in those auditions, on those live auditions, they'll ask you questions.
Right.
Why, like, tell me something about you.
Okay.
You know, and it's not like an interview, but you gotta perceive something or fake it. Not fake it till you make it, but be yourself to where, just like you tell me, bring that energy.
Right.
Bring that energy in that audition.
I got you.
Make them attracted to
I
you.
think that's great, and you're doing phenomenal. I love this. Okay, I just when you said I don't know you, it triggered me. Okay,
I don't know
because
you.
I was going through something last week, and I still
Yeah.
don't know her. But anyway, they don't know you. They have so much to say about you behind the scenes, and I'm like, well, how do you have so much to say about me? And you don't know me. That's crazy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.